What is going on, guys? Ryan from Livin here. Welcome to the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show 2022. Today we are at the Edgewater booth. Now this is going to be a very exciting walkthrough to bring to you guys because this boat here is the 2023 Edgewater 262, which is the same exact boat or very similar to the boat that we have, but 20 years newer. So the boat we have is a 2003 268 Edgewater. So as always with our walkthroughs, we're gonna start in the bow and make our way to the stern. All right, so starting up here in the bow of the boat, you can see we have a very generous amount of space up here, plenty of room to lay down, relax, enjoy the day at the sandbar with family, friends, and everything. So up here we have a nice big old stainless steel plow anchor, two very convenient cleats, slide up and down. These kind of cleats are kind of the industry standard now. There's not a lot of boats that you're going to see without these fancy cleats that slide up and down. Now tucked away in this hatch right here, we have a very nice compartment. So right here we have our windlass. So this is our windlass anchor, and you can see here we have the switch right there to control the windlass, which is really nice. Now to compare this to the 2003 Edgewater that we have, the windlass sits on top here, and there is a little cuddy that holds all of the anchor rope and everything like that, but it is very nice to have the windlass tucked away in here. That way you're not tripping over it. It also allows you to stand up on this platform over here, and a lot of times this is where I like to throw my casting net. So I stand up here, toss it, and sometimes I get tripped up a little bit on the windlass, so it's very nice to have that tucked away and to be able to control it from up here. So as you can see, we got some very nice U-shaped seating with also some forward-facing seating over here, which looks extremely comfortable, so we're gonna have to give that out a try. So this forward-facing seating is very comfortable and perfect if you're riding along. You don't have to worry about, you know, sitting like this, putting your feet up or anything like that, or holding on. You could just sit here, face forward, you can see everything that's going on, and very comfortable, very great option on this boat. I love the fact that we have these backrests that are just seamlessly going across the whole front here. That is something that we've definitely wished, and we've tried to improvise with other things on our 2003 Edgewater, because we would really love to have a backrest here, but that boat's just really not built for it. And it's really nice that they incorporate that into the 2023 model of this boat. So one very neat feature that we have over here is the access to this compartment. Now opposed to in 2003, how they did it was there was just a little switch over here, a little latch you open up, and you can open it up. Now they have this little latch over here to the side. You pull that, it activates a trigger underneath here, right over here, and you can open it up and have access right here. Now if you take a look, it even has a little fancy light right over here, that way you can see. And here is that trigger I was talking about right there. Now here's the hatch open, but if you look right over here to the left of it, we have this console, which when we take a look at the bottom, we can open this up and then bang, you have access to that same exact cabinet. So if you want to put something bulky, something long in there, maybe a fender, if you put a longer fender in here, you might struggle to be able to get it in and out of this compartment, so you can use the other compartment over there to slide it in and out easily. You close that on up just like that. Now I felt like I was putting the pieces of the puzzle together here with this boat a little bit, because I noticed this little stainless steel bracket right here, and I was not sure what it was. So I've been peeking around and I finally have figured it out. So we're gonna take a look over here. We're gonna pull the little trigger and open up this compartment over here. Also has the light over here, but if we do take a look at the cabinet, you would think that this cabinet also opens up to this area. Well, you open it up and it's actually just its own little compartment, just a little thing that you can throw. I'd probably put like first aid stuff in there. That way it's nice and accessible, still out of the way, but if you need it for an emergency, it's right there for you. It'd also be good because it's on the same side as the fire extinguisher, which is right over there. So we're gonna close that on up, and now you take a look in here. Now there's another piece to the puzzle. We have this bracket right here. So this end of the bracket is actually gonna go right into here. It's gonna slide in, it has a little locking pin right there. Now I think maybe you guys are also figuring out the puzzle as well. And we take a look at the stations over here. We also have some storage. So right now they're just storing the covers to the electronics in there. And you can also take a look over here. Storage, just anything you might need. If you're more of a sandbar person, maybe you're gonna throw some extra koozies in there. Maybe you wanna throw some safety stuff in there. I don't know, completely up to you. Phone, wallet, keys. If you got a lot of people on board, that's also a great spot. But to continue on with our puzzle over here, we're going to open up this cabin. I mean, look at this door. That is like a grand door that you would see to like a palace or something. I mean, that door is crazy. On our boat, and it has something very similar to this boat over here. This is the 28-foot Edgewater. You can see it has a little side door over there. That's what we have going. We would have a door cut out right there, leading right down to our porta potty and all that kind of stuff. But look at this. It's hard to even fit it all in the frame. Such a grand entrance. So we are going to walk down in here very easily. Okay, now we are standing up straight. And you guys know I love to say during my boat show videos, I'm glad I get to say this again because it's boat show season. I am 5'10", so if you're curious, this is how a 5'10" person stands inside the cabin. I still have a little bit of wiggle room in between my head. Not much though, but that's still fantastic here for a 26-foot boat. So you can see here, we got a door over here. So if we want to look at ourselves, we're going to close up the cabinet, see what it's like. It's going to get really echoey though. So there we are. What's up, guys? So we have a little mirror here so we can look at ourselves while we're filming. I guess while you're going to the bathroom or something. I don't know. But we're going to open this back up. Get the audio quality a little better for you. Definitely got to watch your head up here. But here's what we're dealing with. So we have a little step. Would be nice if there was storage under this step, but it doesn't appear so. Maybe it's an option. More cutties. Looks like toilet paper holder in there. We have a sink, which also pulls out just like they did in 2003 to become a shower. That's why it has a really long hose on it. It's because it can also be a shower. And when you do use it as a shower in here, it can drain out right down there. Here's the drain. If you look over here, this is like the wall of access holes. So we have tons and tons of access holes. I'll open them up for you guys so you guys can take a look at what it looks like in a second. But we also have the fire extinguisher over there. Looks like we have more. Oh, there's your battery access right there. So there are your 2 batteries. Nice and easy. They could have made that hole just a little bit bigger. Same thing with the battery access on our 2003 26-foot Edgewater. If you guys ever heard me complain on the channel about those batteries, it is a nightmare. They are buried way in there. Very hard to access. I guess Edgewater just doesn't like to make it easy to replace the batteries in these boats. But that's okay. That's something we'll suffer for to have a good quality boat like this. Here's what it looks like with all the access holes open. So we got our switches over here. Very nice. Everything looks very clean, very nicely done in here so far. There we go. Some more other stuff, some stuff nicely labeled. We have some other stuff labeled in here. Everything looks very good. Okay, now we're getting the final piece to that puzzle we were talking about earlier. Here is the tabletop. So right here you can see it's bungeed in. I'm not going to take it out. Respect for the boat show people here. So that metal piece right over there is going to be what's in the other end of that stainless steel pole that we found in that cabin, and that's going to complete the 3-piece puzzle where the table's going to go right there. So then you also have some forward-facing seating right over here, which we all sit down in. Very nice seating over here, very comfortable. I was worried about the depth of this cushion right here because it's really not that deep, but it is actually surprisingly comfortable. So another great seat. One thing that is really slick and a nice design on this Edgewater here is this curved glass windshield. You can see very beautiful with the windshield wiper, with a nice navy blue hardtop. Overall, very clean finish. So we are making our ways down to the helm over here, which is my personal favorite part of the boat because it's where I spend the most time. So here's the view from eye level of a 26-foot 2023 Edgewater. You can see the clearance that you can see is pretty much the same that you could 20 years ago. They don't have any steps over here, nothing like that for you to step on to make yourself a little elevated. We have a bar that folds down off the seat over here, and we could stand on that to get a little bit higher. Some feature like that would be nice just because I like to stand up a little bit higher sometimes to be able to see a little bit better, but I'm sure that might be a feature that you will be able to add if you wanted to. So in the helm station up here, looks like we have a little area for us to put our phones, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. I feel like honestly they could have done a little bit better on this. It almost looks like it was an afterthought, which is a little disappointing because even 20 years ago they didn't really think about that because I guess smartphones weren't really, I don't think they were a thing at all. No, they weren't a thing at all back then, so they didn't really have to worry about it as much, but it would have been nice if we had a little bit nicer of a place to put the phone. That's what I would prefer, but at least they did think about it, and there is a spot to put your phone. I do really like the sleek black look over here. We just replaced our Raymarines and put in a new SIM rad there. So when we were ripping out all the old electronics, we decided to put a black backing here, and it makes the boat look way newer, way better. Now just look at how great these switches look here. All different colors lit up, so that way you can easily tell if something is on, because you don't want to leave on your lights, because then you're going to come back to a dead battery in your boat. Not good. Like we have some fuses. Oh, that's interesting. So this is where they put the fuses and the switches for the batteries. So in our 2003 Edgewater, it would be back here and around this area over here. So if we look up top over here, it's really nice how it's out of the way. We have our Garmin radio controls along with our music controls and everything like that over here. But instead of worrying about having the radio all the way up top, they put it right over here, very conveniently down there, because this is one of the most important things to have on a boat working, and a lot of people oversee it, unfortunately. We have two big old captain's chairs, not really bench style seating, but we will put this down and show you what it looks like. If you guys have watched my other walkthrough videos in the past, you'll know that I am a fan of bench style seating a little bit more. So I would like to see some way of connecting these a little bit more seamlessly, but they are very, very comfortable chairs to sit in. So that is really nice, and you can see, but it's definitely not the preferred method of driving while sitting down, at least for me. So one thing I did notice down here we have the captain's chair and the passenger's chair. There's a little lever right here that you can pull, and you can see that the seat is actually on tracks. So you can slide the seat forward, that way you can actually reach the steering wheel, which is a genius idea, because on our boat we have the stationary bench seating, and it's really hard to reach the wheel. So to be able to actually slide forward towards the wheel makes it actually possible to drive while sitting down, which is a really great feature that they thought of. So if we take a look down here, we have the cooler right underneath the seating, and we're going to pull out the cooler and then you can open it up. This is, in my mind, a little bit of a controversial decision, because this is a big cooler and you're going to have to slide this cooler out, and I feel like it might just be a little bit in the way. Now on our boat we have the bench seating, and then you can put your own cooler in. So right underneath the bench seating we would have our cooler. I think we have a Yeti 112, I think, or something like that. So we have a big old cooler underneath the seating. You can access it right from the back, and it's nice and easy to access. So I don't know if that's my favorite design, because it is a little bit smaller of a cooler too, but I guess it'll have to do. Okay, and we are making our way to the stern of the boat here finally. So over here we have a dive door, which is a very nice feature. It makes it very easy to get on and off the boat if you're leaving your boat in the water, or for docking and everything. It just makes it very convenient. I guess if you want to dive off the boat too, there you go. One thing that is completely different in the newer 2023 model here compared to 20 years ago is this whole tackle station over here. So we have different little, I guess it's a little compartment, a little holder, something like that. Maybe a little prep area, because this is a sink area. So if you open up over here, we have a sink. We have a faucet over here. They actually did put in some rod holders here too, and cup holders, which is a nice feature, because you guys know I love all the rod holders on the boat. Come over here, we have a bunch of tackle storage, so you guys can see. We open all these up real quick for you, which is nice. The way they did it back in 2003 was right over here on the side of the boat. We had one big old hatch over here, and we had a second big old hatch over here, and then the same thing on the other side. So the forward facing hatch over here would be for storage for bumpers and all that kind of stuff, ropes, and it was just a continuation of the side gunnel. And then the hatch over here was filled with all the tackle boxes, so that way you can have your tackle boxes over there and everything like that. The same thing on the other side. If you look down here, it's funny, this is identical to 2003. They have the same bar down here, the same brush holder and all that kind of stuff that you could put there. So it is funny to see that they kept that exactly the same. And if we look over here, it looks like we have our raw water and our freshwater hookup. And this is super cool over here. So we have a little ladder over here that I'm assuming can hook up over here to the dive door, but we also have the shore power hookup. So if you guys are fishing with electric reels, I'm sure you can hook up your electric reel right here, which is a huge advantage, because I know down here in Florida, a lot of people like to fish with electric reels, and having a power hookup situation can sometimes be a hassle for some people. So that's really nice. They incorporated it, very clean. I really like where they put it, how they did it. Back here we have a seat that'll fold up. This is just a forward-facing rear seat over here that we can just take the lever and put it back, These seats are always a little stiff, but there we go, just like that, closes on up. Now, one thing they didn't put in the boat back in 2003 is floor hatches, like this one right here. I always wonder why we didn't have floor hatches. Could be nice just to have that little bit extra storage, but we're gonna open up this floor hatch and see what's in it. Alrighty, here we go. The mystery of what's in the floor hatch. Dun, 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 dun. Just a big old well, fantastic well. If you're out there fishing, you wanna put wahoo, mahi, kingfish, any of those long, skinny fish would go great inside of this storage compartment here. Now we have an identical hatch right over here to the side as well. And then right here, I believe this is going to be our bilge access. So we'll open this up. Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, this is giving me flashbacks back to Palm Beach Boat Show 2022, where I was on a Camus 34-foot boat here. They added like a little cuddy in here. That way you can actually use this for more storage in addition to the bilge access. So let me take this on out for you guys so you can actually just very easily pull this out. It's extremely lightweight. You can hold it one hand, and there we go. We have the bilge access. I absolutely love when they do this kind of stuff. Just really thinking about the person that's owning this boat and maximizing the amount of storage they can have. So let's take you guys on into the bilge. You can see, still not the easiest to access in here, but it is definitely better than they did in 2003, I can tell you that much. From somebody who has spent a lot of time crawling inside our bilge, it's nice to have a little bit bigger of an access. So we're gonna plop this back on in here, just like so, and close up the hatch. So back here, it looks like we have one little live well. There we are, not too big of a live well. And honestly, that's one of the complaints that I have for our boat, our 2003 26-foot Edgewater. It would have been nice to have a bigger live well since we do take fishing pretty seriously down here. So a little bit bigger of a live well on this boat for a 26-foot boat would have been nice, but at least we still have a nice live well to use. They did change up our door a little bit over here, so we have a little bit of a different locking mechanism, but overall the same concept. Walk back here, your ladder. I believe these are Yamaha 300s or 350s. I'll look at the end of the video for you guys. If you look over here, we got 4 rod holders, nice, and also it looks like a tow rack, so this will pull all the way up, and that way you can tow tubers, skiers, and all that kind of stuff, which is actually really cool because I did try wakeboarding behind our boat a couple times. Definitely not the easiest because we were using it from the stern hooks in the back that you use for tying down when it's on the trailer and everything like that, and it's pretty much at the water level. If you guys know anything about skiing and water sports like that, it's good to have it up higher. That way it kind of lifts you out of the water. When I was getting towed by that, it was kind of pulling me like straight through the water, so I was kind of plowing a little bit, but made it a little harder, but we still made do though. Okay, I believe that is everything in the boat, but before we leave the boat here, we have to do a rod holder count. So we have 1 rod holder, 2 rod holders, 2 cup holders. We got rod holder, cup holder 3, rod holder, cup holder 4, cup holders again. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it looks like we have 15 rod holders on this boat, which isn't bad. It would have been nice to have some rod holders maybe over here. Oh, actually, sorry, 17, 18. There we go. We got 2 more rod holders right there. Would have been nice. I know on our boat we have, I think, 4 or 5 rod holders that go right across here. Very nice. We like as many rod holders as we want. Not as much as that 34-foot Camus though that had 40 plus rod holders, I think. I mean, that was crazy, but that's also a 34-foot boat, so it's hard to compare the two. So here we are. We have the 262 Edgewater. The length is 26 foot 5 inches. The beam is 9.3. You can see the beam back in 2003, the 268 was a 9.6 beam. That's why we call our boat a tank, because it just plows through the water with that huge beam. Weight 6,100 pounds, max horsepower 500. These Yamahas aren't labeled, so not sure what they are, but they do look like they're 250. So I'm going to say this has the max horsepower for this boat. Fuel capacity is 100. Well, they just shut off the screen on us. Fuel capacity here is 163 gallons. Here's all the specs on it, so if you want to pause the video and take a look at that, you can. And then finally, we have the MSRP in the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show pricing. So this 26-foot Edgewater is going to run you at the boat show $278,000. and MSRP is $316,000. So that certainly is quite a big price tag, but if you're in the market for boats, you guys know they are very expensive, and honestly, this is a really well-made boat. They really thought about all the features, everything you need on this boat. So if you are in the market for a boat in the 26-foot range, I would definitely consider this 262 Edgewater. It was very cool checking out and doing a walkthrough of this video for you guys because it hits so close to home, since we have a boat that is this but 20 years older, and we absolutely love her, and we don't plan on upgrading her anytime soon. That is going to wrap it up for this walkthrough video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure you guys hit that like button and consider subscribing down below. It really helps me out a lot. And it'll also help you guys follow along for all of the future boat show videos we have coming out here in Fort Lauderdale 2022, because there's going to be a lot of them. And also Miami when that comes in January or February, and then Palm Beach Boat Show when that comes in March. So if you guys are into that kind of boat show content and the fishing content and all that kind of stuff, make sure you guys just hit that subscribe button down there. Very much appreciated. And if you like this 2022 Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show video, make sure you check out this video over here on the left side of the screen. There's another video from the boat show this year. All right guys, until my next video, remember to keep living salty.